Our first guest, Congresswoman Helen Tan. Pasensya ka na this morning, Kong. Good morning,
sir.
ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
Good morning po.
I told you naman, we will have a to be continued, a part 2 sa ating interview kasi talagang pareho naman tayo, ang puso natin is in healthcare and the well-being of Filipinos. Now, with the supplies that the country has, what made you say that the country's vaccination program is slow? I mean, napaka-obvious no? Pero gusto ko lang malaman. Kasi hindi ba in-interview ninyo itong mga tiga National Task Force, itong IATF, etc. Ano ba nangyari doon sa hearing ninyo sa Congress?
Sir, actually, nakita naman talaga natin na yung target, sinasabi nila, every day they've been targeting at least mga 300,000 ma-vaccinate nila per day. No? So in a week, ang sinasabi nila, 1 million. But in reality nga, hindi naman siya nangyayari kasi number one, maraming problems in the ground. Identify na natin ito long before dumating po yung vaccine for them to be proactive and aggressive in the campaign so that pag dumating po yung bakuna, ay ready na ang mga mamamayan. So marami po tayong mamamayan ngayon na ayaw talagang magpabakuna. No? Ako personally, kahapon lang po, maghapon, umiikot po ako sa mga barangays at nakikipag-usap sa mga senior citizen kasi nagkaroon po ako ng meeting sa lahat ng municipal health officers ko dito sa aking distrito at ang feedback nila talaga pong ang hesitation, no, yung resistance nila to get vaccinated. Doon pa lamang sa frontliners, BHWs, no, or members of the Barangay Health Emergency Response Team. May delays na po doon, no, kasi you have to give time doon sa pag-convince. And part of their policy, kailangan, sir, merong attestation ang isang municipal health officer na nabakunahan na niya yung lahat ng kanyang frontliners bago siya makaproceed sa next step, which is the A2. Kaya nakita niyo, sir, yung delays. Sabi nila, ang hirap, ma'am, kasi hindi kami makakapag-decide on our own. Nakailang beses na kami ng orientation sa mga health workers, then they have to give time din. No? Hindi naman pag sinabing ayaw, talagang totally papipirmahin na nila ng waiver. Na ayaw po talaga nila kasi kinakailangan po yun eh. So parang yun yung justification nila sa DOH. For them to give additional vaccine din. Hindi din sila makakakuha po ng vaccine nang wala pong mga certificates galing sa municipal health officers. So, I think doon sa sistema, masyado po siyang hindi siya flexible sa ating mga implementors. Kasi ang daming, like for example, sir, ang dami ng senior citizen, halimbawa na ready pa magpa-vaccine, but dito sa amin, sa probinsya, hindi pa siya scheduled to give vaccine for seniors kasi hindi pa natatapos ang frontliners. Parang ganon. And then, di ba sir, sobrang nakaka-delay siya ng implementation. Kasi ang thought ko, sir, yes, we have limited vaccine. Napaka-limitado. That's the reason why we prioritize. No? Meron tayong mga lists. But ang goal natin is to expand the coverage. Hindi po ba? Ilang porsyento ng populasyon ang gusto nating mabakuna sa loob ng 1, 2, 3 buwan. So ang thought ko, kung nandyan na i-present na sa frontliners, ayaw, proceed. Kung ayaw ng next list, proceed. Parang ganun, proceed ka ng proceed, and ibigay mo siya doon sa mga tao that really want to get vaccinated.
Kumbaga, kung ayaw mo, diwag.
Something like that.
Punta ako doon sa may gusto. Because this is a national problem. Maraming nagsusumbong po sa akin ng ganyan na ang daming takot. Kaming mga gustong magpabakuna. Hindi naman kami kinocall up. Parang unahan or waiting.
Yes, tama, sir. So, parang as long as you're a Filipino, you have that right. No? Diba? May karapatan ka doon sa bakuna bilang isang Pilipino. So, nagkataon nga lang po na nagkaroon ng priority lists. But for example, sir, teachers, yung mga guro gustong-gusto na nilang mabakunahan, but nandoon pa lang po sila sa dulo, sa B1. So, parang naghahabol tayo sa oras na nahihirapan din ang ating implementers in the ground na mag-decide kasi natatakot sila na sila'y marereprimand because na-violate nila yung sinasabi ng ating task force.
Kumbaga, pag sakit sa ulo, it is, we will leave it to the LGU to decide pag masakit sa ulo. Pero pag kailangan desisyonan ng LGU, we have to ask permission from the task force. So kumbaga parang hindi mo malaman kailan ba talaga may karapatan yung LGU at kailan sasaluhin ng LGU. In any case, Congresswoman Tan, matanong ko lang, na-imbestiga ba ninyo, nasiyasat ba ninyo sa Congress nung hiniring ninyo? Did you find out the timeline, the process of getting the vaccines? Kasi it's strange. It's really strange that we haven't even, I don't think we've even reached 5 million vaccine doses on the ground. Ang alam ko lang puro donation, and yung pinaka-latest na 500,000, yung palang yata yung una ng binili talaga ng gobyerno. Ang tanong po ay, tayo ba ay walang bakuna because the world market and the superpowers are controlling the flow, or because we were too slow and too late in making our orders? Kasi natatandaan mo, nagbitaw ng salita, dalawang government officials nagsabing, somebody dropped the ball.
Tama, sir. Last year yon, no? Si Secretary Galvez, sir, yes, napag-usapan po yon. Since nung January na before po tayo nagkaroon ng vaccination, nagpatawag po ako ng briefing ng roadmap ng vaccination program natin. So may pinresent sila doon na timeline. Unfortunately, hindi po na-achieve yon, no? Kung kailan yung first delivery. But yung last hearing po namin ay nakapag-present naman po sila kung ilan yung mga darating, which he's saying medyo confidential yung negotiations on the numbers of the vaccines na inaasahan po natin. So they were saying may darating by mga March 2021, may sinasabi sila na target nila ay Moderna, baka may dadating po na Moderna at AstraZeneca pa, meron ding darating, and the Sinovac. So ito po yung mga binili natin, I think, kasama ang private sectors and the LGUs. And then, meron din siyang sinasabi na may darating galing sa COVAX facility, but hindi po masabi kung ilan ang numero, no? Kasi kung kailan lang siguro sabihin po ng COVAX facility na magdi-deliver and how many yung kanilang i-deliver.
Okay, so we'll go for a quick break, Congresswoman Tan. And when we come back, tuloy po natin ang usapan tungkol din sa naging hearing ninyo and the state of our healthcare. Because isa pang pinoproblema, dinidiktahan ng national government yung mga private hospitals na lapara o damihan yung kanilang bilang or number of COVID wards and beds, COVID beds. May mga pumapalag na kasi sabi, we did not go into business na para saluhin yung kakulangan o pagkakamali ng national government. Let me go for a quick break here, and when we return, please address those concerns. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program agenda. I'm your host Cito Beltran, and you are watching us from from Lipa City Live, brought to you by Signal TV channels 8 and 250 and PLDT Home Fiber Internet. Bago po tayo magpatuloy, magpapasalamat lang ako kay Attorney Regalado Eusebio or Attorney Reggie, retired judge of Imus Cavite, owner of Lihim na Kubli Farm and Resort, Barangay Guyam na Malaki, Indang, Cavite. Kakaiba talaga yung mga tiga Cavite, no? Lihim na Kubli pa, pagkatapos Guyam na Malaki. Dito Guyam, sinusunog natin yung Guyam dahil masakit mga gat. Thank you for helping me access the birds and geese that I have long sought. And then, of course, kanina po, binati ko na, pero mali pala yung aking pagkabati. Kasi si Ma'am Vilma Di Maculangan pala ay ang OIC, Officer in Charge, Regional Executive Director. Taas pala ng posisyon, ginawa ko lang director. Dati, hilig ko mag-promote, ito na-demote. OIC, Regional Executive Director ng Department of Agriculture for Calabar Zone. Okay, let's go back to our guest, Congresswoman Helen Tan. Kong Tan, good morning ulit. And ma'am, natatandaan ko, before you became Congresswoman and got into the Health Committee, I know that you were involved in running a hospital. It was a family thing. What do you have to say about this situation where the national government is now telling, especially in Metro Manila, oy, dagdagan pa ninyo yung inyong mga COVID wards, etc. And may isang doktor nagsabi sa akin, alam mo Sito, mali yan eh. Kasi dapat last year pa lang, ginawa na nila yung sinasabi nating nagtayo ng additional hospitals. Parang pinapasa ng National Task Force ng DOH yung dapat responsibilidad nila, pinasa nila ngayon sa mga hospital owners. Anong masasabi niyo?
Well, sir, I agree, no? Kasi from February last year, or January, since we learned na merong problema dyan sa coronavirus in China, dapat ang bilis lang. Ang natatandaan ko, sir, ang nasabi ko in one of the interviews before, sana yung preparation natin overkill, no? Whether dumating ang maraming kaso sa atin o hindi, nakapaghanda tayo. And last year, from March to December, ay binigyan naman tayo ng panahon, no, para makapaghanda, makapaglagay ng mga convertible tents or mga buildings na lagyan ng mga hospital beds or i-convert into ICUs. And hindi nga natin na-reach yung red line, no, yung critical stage last year. And parang siguro tingin ko dahil para bang buwan-buwan tinitingnan lang natin ang kaso, and then ang naging attitude nila kung tumaas, that's when the time they will act on it, no, on the need. So ang naging problema, sir, last year, we have all the time to prepare, set up mga expansions of the hospitals. Like for example, in NKTI, nagawa ng hospital nakapag-expand, pero sana natulungan pa rin ng national government na makapag-expand pa dahil may lugar na paglalagyan ng more tents, no? Lagyan ng mga ICUs or expand pa yung kanilang emergency rooms. Other government hospitals, yung ating specialty or DOH retained hospitals, provincial hospitals, regional hospitals, district hospitals, lahat po yan ay pwedeng na-expand at na-prepare na natin last year. Ang nangyari nga, sir, dahil nga yung ating kaso ay nanatili na nandun sa 3,000, 2,000, 4,000, parang tumigil din, no? Ang inilagay lang mga isolation facilities. But ang problem nga, merong mga malalaking isolation facilities na inihanda, kung I'm sure you're aware of that, no? At hindi naman nagamit kasi hindi rin naman magamit dahil wala din naman
Malayo.
malayo. Tama po
Mm.
kayo, hindi strategically located. And wala din tao po, hindi naging malinaw. Sino bang magpapatakbo nitong isolation? So
At saka
ngayon,
at saka nakikigamit, 'di ba?
yes,
Parang yung Philippine Arena, nakikigamit lang tayo doon, etc. Sana nakapagtayo na tayo ng sarili natin.
tama sir. So noon pa man, bagaman sinasabi natin nandoon ang hotspot natin ay NCR, ay napakahalaga na naihanda natin yung mga nearby provinces. Dahil
Mm.
alam naman natin mag-spill over yan. So ngayon, na tama po kayo, yung observation ng kaibigan nyo na ang kakulangan ng gobyerno ay ipinapasa sa pribado, which is very hard also for private hospitals dahil alam naman natin na ang bulk of the manpower ay nasa government po. Sir Cito,
Mm.
long before dumating ang pandemya, malaki na po at malalim ang problema natin sa health workforce, no? Napakalalim na po yan. At na-mention nyo, I was in the operation of a hospital before. I'm a medical director before.
Yeah.
At napakahirap kasi the private is competing sa ating government when it comes to salary. Hindi talaga mapantayan yung reality kasi kung taasan mo ang sweldo, that means you'll also increase the cost of services just to cope on the operation, hindi ba? And alam naman natin, di natin po pwedeng basta gagawin yun dahil we are being regulated by the government. So kaya noon, Sir Cito, pag nakikita ko ang DOLE na nagsasabi, they're promoting nurses going to Russia, to Germany, or anywhere, I feel sad. Kasi alam ko, yes, opportunity for mga nurses yon or our allied health workers. But anong kampanya ang ginagawa ng gobyerno para manatili dito ang ating mga manggagawa sa kalusugan?
Ako na po sasagot, wala. Sorry, no, but you know, after saying that, I want to ask you, Congresswoman, kasi I'm a problem solver. I cannot sleep unless I solve a problem. Now, itong situation natin, you have a private hospital. In the absence of more hospital facilities, government is now leaning on private hospitals. But the problem of the private hospitals is they cannot pay the salaries that government hospitals and foreign hospitals are paying. So I would say, dapat may subsidy. Hindi ba pwedeng gumawa ang system? Kasi ikaw naman ang congresswoman, wala akong alam sa paggawa ng batas. Hindi ba pwedeng gawin where the PhilHealth subsidizes a portion of the service delivered by a health worker, whether it's a doctor, medtech, nurse, etc. Kumbaga, kasama doon sa package yung pangdagdag, pangsweldo ng bawat nurse na magtatrabaho. Kumbaga, it's not a lump sum, o sige, ayan, Helen, sa'yo na yan, bahala ka ng gastusin. It is more of a, nagtrabaho si Dr. Helen, okay, then ito yung portion ng fee mo sa subsidize ng PhilHealth or ng government. Kasi if not, balita pa from Mayor Joy Belmonte kahapon, may mga hospital nang binebenta for sale na dahil nag-give up na yung mga may-ari. Sabi, wala. We cannot run company like that.
Tama, sir, no? Either yung PhilHealth po can expand their coverage, no? Or pwede pong ang gawin ng gobyerno, which I explored already sa region po. Yung ating mga private hospitals, like dito in Quezon po, I was exploring na makapaglagay po ng ICUs, no? Yung mga convertible tents. And ang partner natin is private hospital. So I talked to one of the medical director here in Lucena City and to DOH regional director namin na kung willing sila supervision, but ang DOH po ang maglalagay ng manpower and supplies, no? But the doctors will be willing to help, no, overseeing or taking care of the patient. Dahil nga tama po yung binanggit nyo, wala po talaga kahit na may available beds, and if even if willing ka na talaga namang i-expand, ang problema, sir, masasacrifice naman po yung kalidad ng serbisyo na maibibigay mo sapagkat walang sapat na tao, no? Especially nurses natin. So ang pwede, sir, yung partnership is that if ang isang hospital, private hospitals ay merong available space, no? An ICU, the government can run it, provide the necessary manpower, nurses or additional doctors if they have, no? And then ayun, parang partnership siya, no? Susuportahan kasi ang yung iniisip niyo po kanina na can PhilHealth, napakalaking issue po kasi every step na gagawin ng PhilHealth, parang minsan yung expectation mo na dapat ginawa nila, hindi naman yun ang nangyayari. So maraming problema ang PhilHealth, pero ayoko nang umasa doon sa gagawin ng PhilHealth dahil yun nga ang clamor ng private, hindi nakakabayad on time, even in government hospital. Hindi po nakakabayad ng nasa oras. So I think it's more of explore ng DOH yung partnership in a sense na mag-provide po sila ng manpower, ng supplies, medicines, and everything to use the facility.
Can't you legislate it, Congresswoman Tan? Because I think we give too much credit to the leadership of the DOH and the National Task Force na parang sana gawin nila ito, sana gawin nila. Hindi nga nila nagawa yung mga hospital when they had the chance. Inuuna pa natin yung mga tulay, mga airport at kung ano-ano, pero yung hospital walang ginawa. So, can't Congress, can't you and your associates come together and say, if you won't do it on your own, we will pass laws to force you to build this and to do certain adaptations or policies?
Actually, sir, ang dami na natin na existing legislations, no? May mga batas na. Like for example, expansion of all the government DOH retained hospitals and provincial hospitals on the bed capacity. When you expand the bed capacity, that means you construct another building to accommodate a certain number. And this is based on the historical data ng admissions or the operations of each of the hospitals. Yung 3 years operation nila, nakikita nila how much more beds do they need. And nandyan po yan but unimplemented, no? Yun yung, yes, pwede po kaming gumawa ng batas again, i-task namin na gumawa sila ng more buildings or establish or construct new hospitals doon sa mga areas natin na nakita natin na nangangailangan. And yan po lahat unimplemented. Ang ating East Avenue, meron na po tayong batas, pero hindi po yun na-implement. Rizal Medical Center, meron na po tayong batas. Ako po ang chair ng last Congress, kaya alam ko kung gaano kadami na mga naggawa natin batas but unfunded. So ako ngayon, nasa katatayuan, Sir Cito, na yung batas ba ang sagot doon sa problema? Kasi kailangan po talaga ng right people. I think it's more of tamang tao para yung may malawak na pagtingin, malalim na pagtingin and may political will for these things na ma-address po yung problema even without pandemic.
So in terms of laws, you have made all the laws so that all of these buildings, structures, facilities can be put up, but obviously it has not been funded at hindi pinapatupad. Yung po yung sinasabi nyo.
Tama, sir. Yes po. And we can check that, no? The unfunded laws. Napakadami niyan, sir. Even, for example, sir, napag-usapan natin last na tayo pinag-usap, yung Universal Healthcare Law is a health reform law. With the pandemic, tinanong ko po sa DOH yan. I know, naiintindihan ko, overwhelming po yung problema natin sa pandemic. Meron ba mga provision doon na doable? Pwede natin gawin while we are addressing these problems ng pandemya, no? Yung problema natin ng health workforce, nakalagay po doon. Problema natin sa pasilidad, nakalagay po doon. Affordability of services, nakalagay lahat doon. Taong titingin for each of the Filipino, nakalagay naman doon. So, hindi ko rin po alam. Ako, every now and then, I've been coordinating with DOH, asking ano na ang progress, ano na ang nangyayari. With all the problems na meron po tayo, the most that I can do is always ask, tutukan and check kung may ginagawa ba sila.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Congresswoman Helen Tan.
Thank you, sir.
And I know that you won't stop. Hindi nyo titigilan yan at sana po magtulong. And I hope that the people in charge or are responsible understand that it's nothing personal. Wala naman po tayong personal na agenda dito. Kanya lang, talagang nakakaawa na yung mga mamamayan na sa tent na ginagamot. Thank you very much, Congresswoman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you po. Good morning po sa inyong lahat.
Okay, yan po si Congresswoman Angelina Helen Tan, Representative of the 4th District of Quezon.